What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Team Solemn Circus live video. On the left side here, we have pure Ryzeal going up against the Fire King Kashtira deck. We're going to be seeing the Kashtira deck end up winning the die roll here, being able to choose to go first in game one. Now, they are playing against pure Ryzeal, which means that there are a little bit of different hits you want to be able to hit. In this hand, we do see a Unicorn being the card that we're going to be seeing special summon out. It can activate the effect, letting us search for a Theosis or a Birth in the deck. Now, we see sure Theosis, which is going to mean that we have to have access to the Ulcanix through other ways of a normal summon. So we're going to see the Theosis activate the effect, allowing us to summon out the copy of the Fenrir. Fenrir is going to search for the Rise Heart. And because we already locked ourselves in the XYZs, we can actually summon out the Rise Heart, activating its effects as well, making our opponent lose 3 cards face down from their deck, which is going to be pretty nice, as well as letting us leave one of the Unicorn or the Fenrir on the field. So because we're playing against Pure, you want to leave the Fenrir on the field so you can actually get rid of a bunch of those rank 4s. But we're going to be seeing the Unicorn being left instead. Now, if you're playing against the Kashtira or the Fiendsmith version of the deck, that's definitely going to be the correct play there. But I suppose that you don't exactly know what they're going to play against at the time, so it definitely makes sense to leave Unicorn in a blind position. So that's going to be kind of a good play. We're going to see the Ulcanix being summoned out off of the Rise, or the Raid Raptor. Now when we see it destroy another Ulcanix in the hand here, to summon out or search for Ponix, and then we're seeing the OG Grunix activate or summon itself out off of the Ulcanix, and then Ponix summon itself out because it's also going to get destroyed. That's going to search for the Sanctuary, and Sanctuary can search for the Island as well. So we're going to see the Island being placed onto the field off of that Sanctuary there, and we then get to activate the effect of Island, destroying the Ponix. Let us search for the Garunix. Garunix can summon itself out. Now we are XYZ locked, so it is going to be pretty hard for us to kind of continue. Now we do have a line to go up into number 90, because we do have that in our deck now. I should mention that we are going to be then destroying the Kieran off the Garunix there. And then we're going to go up into a Photon Lord. And this is going to be a pretty decent end board, especially with being able to set the copy of the Skyburn and Ponix adding itself back to the hand during the end phase here, or during the standby phase here, I should say. But we're going to be forgetting that, it looks like, and see a Bonfire search for a copy of Ice. Then we're going to activate Desires, banishing 10 more cards from our deck. And we do Ash Blossom this, stopping a draw 2, which is going to be pretty nice. But we also saw the Plasma Hole being banished. It is a pure variant on the deck, therefore it's going to be in there, I should say. And it doesn't look like we have too much for the pure Ryzeal. We have lost a whole bunch of our cards already. We're going to be seeing, we do remember the Ponix now adding back to the hand. It is mandatory, so it kind of has to resolve. But we're going to see the Imperm on the 90, stopping the monster effects. That means that we most likely are going for like a weird-ass Typhon angle. We're going to see X can activate the effects by sending the Metrologic. And we do opt to chain this here, just to put the Grunix in the graveyard. Now we're going to see the Metrologic trying to chain its effects, trying to stop the field spell, or not the field spell, but the continuous spell here. We're going to be seeing the Unicorn rip another card from their extra deck there, because they did activate the X effect, and we're going to be seeing Sword being searched. Sword's going to then summon itself out, and that's going to allow us to add another X to our, or adding an Ice to the hand here. I suppose this can then be normal summoned out to get another extender on the field, but we're then going to activate Cross, and I'm going to be assuming we're going to be popping cards here. Yeah, so we're going to be seeing the Skyburn attempt to pop the Ulcanix as well as the Cross here. Then we're going to see Grunix summon itself out, and then Grunix will activate the effects and dumping the Kieran here. And then Kieran will be able to activate its effects, bringing back out another copy of Kieran, which I don't think it can do. And then blow up the sword onto the field. Blowing up that sword there, making them forced to go another extender here. So now we're going to be seeing the Ice being normal summoned, activating its effects, allowing us to summon out the X. And we do have 2 level 4s on the field once again. This time we have 3. And we're going to go up into a Duo Drive. Duo Drive is going to activate the effect, and we do Ghost Ogre it here, making it so that we do not get that double search, but we do have it still an Ice to summon it that we searched off of the Bonfire. We're going to discard another Bonfire to summon itself out, and we're going to overlay up once again. Now, what do we kind of choose to go for here? We could stall with a Baguska, but it's not going to make that much of a difference when we have Link monsters able to go into our arsenal. And the Ryzeal deck is going to be pretty much at ends meet. They have lost so much of this gas by using all these cards that they have, in their hand. They are going to go into the Exton Knight, and Exton Knight will destroy the entire field here, but we're still going to have so much back in the, we have Ponyx, which we should not be activating here. And so Ponyx will get destroyed, as well as we're going to be seeing the island resolve. And we do see Ponyx search for a second island. This is something that I do play in this deck, that I play the second island. I definitely think that it's going to be pretty nice. We are going to see island going to activate the effect, as well as Ponyx adding itself back. So we have essentially full combo regardless. Now, I don't think you should activate Ponyx there because, well, for starters, Ponyx will get destroyed before it gets a search because of the way island works. But still, you can just normal summon the Ponyx and then get the effect during the next turn. But we're still going to be seeing the Fire King and taking the win there. Burning those Ryzeal cards right through. That Skyburn being super clutch. Had to waste the Imperm on the number 90. And yeah, it's honestly kind of crazy. The power that the Fire King has, when you have to play the Kashtira cards, leaving a Unicorn. If we had the Fenrir in the field as well, we would have banished another card. Kind of forcing them to have another extender, like we would have seen them not be able to make the last XYZ, which is pretty cool. But diving on into game number 2, we are going to be seeing the Ryzeal deck going to be going first. Now, that's kind of the power of the Feesmith engine. You can start off with other stuff to kind of bait some hand traps, as well as make a board. And you have that line to go into Caesar. And Caesar is a very crazy card. We didn't see Nibiru here in this case. But, having the force to go into the Feesmith stuff so easily off the Ryzeal, you can just, he could have done the Exton, blow up the field, and then just linked away up into Requiem, and then essentially have either a Caesar or the line for a Desiree, and Desiree could have gained the card on the field, being the island, and could have essentially gained a turn that way. But with no Feesmith cards, you're unfortunately forced to slap down those XYZs. We are going to be moving on into game number 2. Now, I do want to say, I know that you can't use all the effects. You are locked into level 4s and rank 4s, but there could have been a different way if we had with Feesmith cards, I should say. But now we're going to be going into Desires once again, banishing 10 cards and drawing 2 more. And just passing on this, having no Feesmith or no Ryzeal cards to play is kind of crazy here. This hand must be full of hand traps. We're going to see the Unicorn being special down once again from the Fire King. They're going to be valoring this. Now, I'm going to be assuming the hand's full of hand traps, so it's kind of smart to play. And we're then going to normal summon with the Ponyx, activate the effect, and we do chain Ash to this. We then special summon Rise Heart here, activate the effect, banishing the top 3 of our opponent's deck and banishing a Fenrir. That's going to allow us to overlay up into a copy of the Arsenal Falcon. Arsenal Falcon will activate the effect, detaching the Fenrir or the Unicorn here to allow us to summon with the Ulcanix. Ulcanix will activate the effect, destroying the Ponyx to let us search here for the Garunix most likely, and then we'll see Garunix destroy the Kieran from the deck, I'm going to be assuming, or an Arvada perhaps. They are thinking on this, so perhaps, if we had the Arvada in the hand, which would be kind of clutch, we would have been able to summon out that Arvada if we destroy the Kieran, but I feel like we know there's going to be a Nib here. So we're going to see destroying the copy of Ulcanix. Ulcanix will then summon out the copy of the OG Garunix, and they try to go up into the next XYZ, but they say, oh, wait. And we see that Nib being dropped down. So this is going to be a huge token, I should mention, by the way. But not having access to anything else, we're going to just simply set 1 card and just pass turn. Now, hopefully the Ryzeal deck ends up drawing it to a starter. You have Ice and stuff like that. We're going to be seeing the Ponyx add itself back off of that Ulcanix Destruction. But they still have so much. They're going to count the attack and defense of this token here. This token is huge. If it turns into attack position, it could just be game. We have Ponyx to obviously steal a normal summon search for Island, but they have another hand trap, hopefully. With a hand full of hand traps and no playable cards. X is a playable card. Ice is a playable card. Sword, Node is not really, and neither is Sword, but it's still, it's something. But doesn't seem to look that way. We're going to see the Nib token turn to defense position, which means that they have absolutely nothing. We're going to see the Ponix being normal summon, searching for the Sanctuary. Sanctuary place the island. And can we see Fire King up taking a 2-0 against the big bad meta deck of the format, the Ryzeal? We're going to be seeing the island destroy the Ponix, searching for Kieran. Then we're seeing Garunix summon himself up from the graveyard. We're going to get the Ponix add back as well. Then we're going to be seeing the Garunix destroy the Kieran from the deck, and then Kieran's being able to summon back out another body. We're going to summon with the OG Garunix here, and then we are going to be destroying the Nib. And we just go battle phase and attack for game here, and they had another Nib and nothing else, an X and a plug-in, and that was just not going to be enough, unfortunately. With the Nibiru on the field, the X top deck was not going to be it. But regardless, we're going to be seeing Ryzeal getting 2-0'd here by that Fire King Kashtira deck. Huge shout out to Kalen for operating this deck, because I do not like touching it. And huge shout out to Jason for getting 2-0'd. Love you, buddy, but get a better deck. Stay safe. Peace.